Ready? The elbow. This is your most powerful weapon. It's also a highly vulnerable spot. Let's have a look at it. In Japanese martial arts, metaphors are often used to describe techniques. The term impi translates into English as monkey arm. Ready? Okay, NP or Hiji Ate. So the strikes, we have my MP. Okay, Yoko MP. Ushiro MP. We have Age MP. Here. And Otoshi Uchi MP. Here or here. And any of these can be used. But we're now looking at Aikijitsu techniques, and we're talking about the power of the elbow and the weakness of the elbow. A unique joint, powerful but also weak. And in Aikijitsu, throwing techniques here. So this is still Hiji Ate, striking the elbow. And we're now turning from the pure strikes into throwing techniques using a strike to the elbow. So now we're going to practice an exercise that you can train, which is practicing my MP, straight punch, here into the armpit, followed by Ushiro MP here. On that tap, it's a signal to turn back to Kamae. Then again. Some will be noticing my hand is open. So we do that one more time. Here, the Ushiro, the hand is open. Most karate people close the fist. Okay? The reason they close the fist, okay, you can relax. The reason is because in karate, any strike, you, at the point of impact, you tense the body, bang, and the elbow, bang, to get all the power of the body transferred here. Now, that's true and it has an effect. This is the most powerful weapon in the body. Sometimes I don't need all that power, and if, for example, if we step back a bit, even shot, solar plexus. Yes, if I'm close, of course, it will work if I have my fist clenched. But it was Sato Sensei who learned Aiki Jiu-Jitsu and incorporated this into Jiu-Jitsu, 10th Dan in Japan. Keep the hand open, it frees the shoulder. Instead of locking the shoulder, it frees it, which means it travels further back. So, whereas this will go a certain distance and be very powerful, this way will go further. With still a lot of power, but a lot deeper penetration into the target. So you have an option. Clench the fist, palm open. We've mentioned karate at this point. All martial arts can use the elbow. Aikido use it a great deal. Judo can use the elbow, okay? Not in competition, but in a street situation. So if we face each other, and half round it. So I can do osotogari. Yeah, that's normal osotogari. But I want to be more effective. Here, strike with the elbow. And that's the kazushi. Gets him down. So we'll do one, turn your head, really good. Here. Here. So you can get the kazushi using your elbow, and you can put power into it. Again, chances are it's all over at this point, but certainly the balance will be broken. Here, finish. Then we talk about the elbow. The elbow is multi-dimensional. That's this side. We've got this side, it's called the antecubital fossa. Alright, now if we're just facing somebody here, I can pull his head in, bang. Okay, here, bang. So it's like a punch. Here, here. Using the antecubital fossa. So yes, I can use here, but here as well. And this was from, again, Obata Toshishiro sensei. Further down the arm from the antecubital fossa, you've got the radial bone. And if I get a half round hit, here I can strike with that. You'll see John's head has gone to one side. Wherever the head goes, the body goes. Another way of doing kazushi for a throw. Now I asked Obata Sensei, what part of the forearm do I hit with? Obata Sensei was a man of few words. Anywhere. Okay, half round hit. There. It's on the head, it's to do that. Quite often, even my own students will go here, they think it's around the neck or the throat. That's an option, of course. But what we're talking about is here, changing the head for kazushi. Again. A strike with the inner elbow, antecubital fossa, is also a great setup for kubinagi. We're still talking about the arm, the elbow, antecubital fossa, the forearm. Okay, what about his forearm? This comes from Aikido, and many people discredit Aikido. It's a beautiful art, shows many technical aspects of martial arts that people disregard wrongly. Okay, if I look here, he has an antecubital fossa. Okay, now if I do that, I upset his balance. Here, or this arm. Here, so if I push into his face, it upsets his balance. So we use the elbow here as a means of disturbing balance. You'll see Aikido people, they don't do that so much, but they'll get here off balance slightly and then arm lock. Again on the elbow, that's what we say, the elbow is powerful, but it's vulnerable. So you stand up, get up, 2 fingers, stand up, come on, get up, lift it, 1 finger. If you've got the right technique, you can control a person on the elbow. So that's why judo locks, okay, wakikitami, often done wrongly, here like a kibadashi, here, compress, elbow, here. So, this points to the vulnerability of the elbow. If John pushes me with his right hand, here, again, vulnerability of the elbow. Here, okay. Another elbow too, here. Alright, or here. So I have him secure because I have his elbow locked. So you can knee me in the groin. He doesn't want to. Okay, people will say, oh yeah, but I can use my knee. Really? So just recently we put up 3 videos on various arm locks. when we look at the arm, elbow, shoulder, wrist. So this is a wrist lock. Okay. This is a wrist lock. Alright. This is a wrist lock. Alright. And this also is a wrist lock. They are not arm locks. He goes to grab my belt. This, people say, oh, arm lock up the back. It's not an arm lock. We ask Dawn, where can you feel that? Shoulder. Shoulder lock. Right? So that's a lock on the shoulder. If you're doing an arm lock, it's on the elbow. That's what's vulnerable. And 95% of arm locks are elbow related. Maybe 99%. If John strangles me from the back, hey! Wrist lock. And then if I do this, it's a shoulder lock. And most people say, oh, you've got an arm lock on. No, I've got a wrist lock, I've got a shoulder lock. Nothing has happened to the elbow. We're going to do a little exercise. We get a straight punch. Haven't done anything yet, but now I've smashed the elbow. Then we're getting towards Hiji Ate, elbow strike. Again, palm, trap, use the body, bang, to break the elbow. One more. Elbow again, 2 more strikes. Broken elbow, vulnerable. My elbow powerful, my elbow powerful. Then we can, if we're really quick, good reflexes, we can simplify that. Straight punch, bang. We can just tap the elbow again, bang, again. Can you feel that? Yes. Okay, so what's happening, as he extends his arm, he is hyperextending his elbow all by himself if he punches hard. All I do is add a little bit of energy, bang, other side, here, bang, you would have felt that one.
Yes, yes.
Okay, here, and it's very simple, very easy, because then you can follow up with whatever you want. Okay, but the first part is actually getting out of the way. Okay, here, and we spend a lot of time doing that. Same time, we want to block, but we block on the elbow. And even if it's not totally disabling, it's going to put second thoughts in his mind about how he punches. So in Aikijitsu, why would somebody grab your wrist? People look at Aikido and Aikijitsu and they say, why do they always grab the wrist? You know, that's artificial, it doesn't happen nowadays, but it used to happen. It was a prime means of stopping the samurai from drawing the sword. So, if I'm going to attack or defend myself against John, he doesn't want a samurai to draw the sword. So, if I'm here, about here, he will grab my wrist to prevent me from drawing the sword. And consequently, the Japanese invented a huge number of techniques to deal with this situation. Also, if he knows I might be thinking about it, he can grab my wrist here. So he doesn't have to wait until I hold the sword to stop me using that arm. In any case, if I'm going to draw the sword, he grabs my wrist here. Then here, strike the elbow, throw, I can still draw my sword. And you'll see the movement that I just did is quite interesting. at the end of an encounter, a swordsman will always do chiburi. Here, you see my arm move this way. And in the throw we're going to do, you will see a use of that movement. We call it the chiburi movement. Now we'll move to the 5 throws of Hiji Ate. For convenience, I've taken away the bokken. Imagine this is an encounter with a swordsman. John knows I'm going to draw the sword, so movement number 1, he comes forward and disables that hand. Now I do the movement like chiburi, and that turns him. His elbow is exposed. I can finish it right now. Bang! Break the elbow, just like that, with the antecubital fossa, like an arm lock, but game over, arm broken. Or I can be a little more gentle and do a throwing technique. So he disables across here. I move in with my palm upwards, under the elbow, like an arm lock. Now this foot closest to his body shuffles forward and I apply pressure and throw. One more time. So this is from a static position, the chiburi movement. Underneath the arm, and the power comes from my hips. Power doesn't come from my arms. These are just tools used to transfer power from my hips. We'll do one back this way. So he grabs across, under the elbow. And you can see there's an arm lock here. Interestingly, Mochizuki sensei called this throw tenbin nagi. Tenbin is scales. You can see weight on that side, and it's a balancing act until I throw. But it's still Hiji Ate. Break the elbow, palm up. Now, when I go to throw, I don't throw like that. I see so many people also do this, which is very restrictive. Yes, you can have an arm lock, but the throw is nowhere near as good. When I come forward in slow motion, I turn, this foot comes forward, turn that arm here and propel him forward. So it's like a spiral action, a corkscrew action. There, across. I move in, here. I'll do that throw. This is number 1. In Hiji Ate, we're from a static position. He disables my hand. I chiburi movement here and spiral throw. Now we have dynamic situation because he is now coming for me, because now his body is moving. He grabs my wrist and I coordinate and throw. So that's number 2. We'll do that again. He's here, he grabs, I'm off the line, and same throw. One more. Off the line, and same throw. This time, you remember, if I have the sword, this is number 3. I'm holding the sword, my hand might be in this position. So he comes and grabs. I turn him around, still a straight arm. Again, I'm using his momentum around. There, straight arm. Number 4, same technique. Around. Instead of going down, I go up. Then through here, turn and throw back. Again, around. There, straight arm. I can strike, but here, spiral and throw. That's number 4. Number 5, around. I try to do what I did with number 4. Here and here, he strikes. I take that elbow and his wrist, step forward, here, again, around, up, here, locking. Arm on the elbow. We discussed the balancing, so I have control of his balance. And I have his wrist here. One more. Here. Now we will do those 5 techniques as a flowing sequence. Ready? Firstly from static.